Everybody, welcome back to another replay for Command & Conquer's General Zero Hour. We've got a 3v3 at Dry Plague today. I'll be using a tool called Gen Tool, which has some extra features to it, but I honestly wouldn't recommend anybody to install it without doing a virus scan first. But it does give some neat capabilities, like being able to see the resources of all the players simultaneously, as well as the XP, their generals level, tells you the ping for what you're actively playing within the game, your frame rate, and the current time. And then this is the time of the current game. Let's take a look at the center, or get introduced to the players. So on the top, we've got Team 2, which will be Neo as Laser, Pancake as China, and Rob as Infantry General. On the bottom, we've got Pcap as Super Weapon, Skippy as USA Vanilla, and Scottagorn as China Tank. And with this map, you've got 6 different supply docks, each with 30,000, and so it's a really big race to be able to gain control of so much resources. There's 4 double sets of oil derricks that you can also capture. And right off the bat, we've got Rob's built a barracks, Scottagorn's built a barracks, Pcap's built a barracks, and people are trying to vie for this center spot. Pancake's got a supply center over here, and Rob's lost a dozer when he was trying to build a Gatling cannon. He did build the barracks, but Scottagorn over here was able to get his infantry garrisoned inside the building, and he's got an initial push, and then Skippy's got a fire base already. Pcap's garrisoned these 2 buildings, and he's just taking out the supply trucks. Let's take another look at this. Alright, so coming over from the side, we've got Joe, who's already built 2 fire bases. Pcap has got a fire base to be able to push out as well, and Skippy has got a second fire base that's going up, and Rob's got was able to bring a second dozer to complete that Gatling cannon that was at roughly 80%. But here we've got Skippy with his 2 fire bases, and they're going to be able to outrange the infantry and start pounding on the barracks. Pcap with his garrisoned building has finished off the rest of the supply trucks, or at least forced Pancake to move his supply trucks away. Garrison 3 of these, so it looks like Pancake is going to either lose or have to sell that supply center. Rob's trying to build a secondary Gatling cannon a little bit further back. And Scottagorn is joining Pcap in garrisoning these hangar buildings, and they have completely surrounded the resources. So this is looking pretty good for the South team, guys over here. And let's see, they've got 2 USAs and a China. Skippy's got 3 helicopters. Pcap's got 2 Chinooks. Scottagorn's got 2 supply trucks over there in the back. Rob's got 3 trucks. Pancake's 2 trucks. And Neo with 2 Chinooks. But so relatively good resource on the back end, but really it's about right now it's not looking so good for the North team with this circle of defenses. Skippy's now built a Patriot missile defense and is building a second Patriot defense here, but here comes the counter. We've got Rob that's captured 1 artillery platform, able to reach the construction dozer. Rob's also building a war factory over here. But the South team has captured their 2 artillery platforms. Looks like over here Skippy is Pcap. Nope, that is Skippy trying to capture the artillery platform. Pancake's going to respond and prevent him from capturing that. Patriot missiles trying to drive off the 2 vehicles over here. But Joe building a huge line of fire bases as well as a couple of laser turrets. And so this back end is free to be able to start building resource collection. You can look at the XP over here. Skippy with the most amount of XP at 300. Secondary, Rob, and then third with Pancake. So pushing. But the look at all of these Patriot missiles that Skippy's building. Like, this is a pretty good line, but the response is Neo is capturing the artillery platform right now. Rob has already captured the artillery platform. Scottagorn's trying to bring in Gatling cannon, but or Gatling tank. The Gatling cannon is going to be able to prevent that. The artillery platforms are starting to do some damage now on the defenses that Skippy, Pcap, and Scottagorn have set up on the north side of this circle of resources. While Neo continues to build his line, looks like the fire base, Skippy's fire base, has gotten about half the damage over here. Even Patriot missiles are doing damage on the Gatling tanks. Joe loses a secondary fire base, but he does have the artillery platform to be able to start damaging, and he's should be able to take out those EMP missiles. Here comes Rob with some planes to try and scout out the area or do some damage. Those got taken out by the Patriot missiles. Flame tank and artillery platform going to take out this Crusader tank. And let's see if we look at Rob. Yep, there is one person inside this bunker right now that is holding the line. Pcap has got 3 Chinook helicopters that are able to start collecting resources off of these supply docks. And Pcap's starting to capture oil derricks. Scottagorn's already captured those oil derricks. Rob's captured his 2, and so has Neo. And Rob's built a propaganda center. Pancake is starting to build a propaganda center. Joe starting to build almost done with the strategy. Pcap's starting to build a strategy center. Skippy, no tech building yet, and Scottagorn also doesn't have his... Oh, yes, he does. He's got his propaganda center. All right, so, I mean, as far as tech goes, it feels fairly even. Rob barely kept a flame tank alive, and looks like Scottagorn's starting to build up a little bit of a land force over there. But look at that. That line of defenses has been really reduced in its effectiveness. Skippy's also gotten some Avengers over here he's placed 2 Avengers for going against any helicopters that may be coming over for some resources. But those artillery platforms are doing good damage on the EMPs and should be able to destroy them. So North team slowly starting to come back, and I see a Black Lotus that's starting to head down. She'll be seen by the troop crawler. Yep, that changes direction right now. And Joe continuing to build that line of defenses. He's got another laser turret that's coming over there. Firebase is going to be able to reach the Patriot missile battery, and now there's only one EMP Patriot, or one Patriot missile battery finished. Rob's built a barracks as well as the war factory over there. Still only 1 or 2 units inside that bunker, and now bringing in some Inferno cannons to go against the small land army, but Scottagorn sees it immediately and is going to come over and should destroy those 2 Inferno cannons. Pancake also within some Inferno cannons, clearing out the hangar buildings that Pcap had garrisoned over there. So I mean, a strong push, a good strong set of defenses that Skippy, Pcap, and everybody had placed, and that was not looking good there. But North team is doing pretty well at being able to clear out the South team from their side of the map. And we'll see what happens further. Rob sending in a couple of troop crawlers, doesn't want to deal with the battle masters though, and starting to send a Lotus. Neo with his laser turrets, able to reach a little bit further into the Pcap's base. A quick tip, So because of the range bonus that the laser turrets have, if you force fire one laser turret to fire on another laser turret, they automatically start talking to one of each other, and they will be able to gain some extra range to go after further units than they could normally get. So even if there's no enemy in the nearby area to lock onto and get that range units, you'll get that same range bonus and start to pick out off people that are further away from you. Pcap with his Tomahawk missile launchers took out a dozer of Joe's at 97%, almost was able to finish it. Looks like the same story happened over here with this laser turret. Not quite able to finish. Looks like Rob's guarding the area with a couple of MiGs, and we see Skippy coming in with 2 stealth fighters. They're very stealth fighters have excellent missiles for going against defenses, and so those take out the in construction laser turret before it's able to get finished. Got some troops over here making their way, and Rob's building another bunker. And Scottagorn's got a large land force of battle masters coming in to be able to support. Nobody's got any super weapons yet. Everybody seems to have captured their reinforcement pads. Rob's built a internet center. He's starting to get secondary resources from his hackers over there. Joe's got 2 supply docks or supply drop zones. Don't see any hackers yet for Pancake. Pcap has got 2 supply drops. Scottagorn's got plenty of hackers for bringing in those resources, and he's using those to great effect. He's, let's see, Pcap's got the most amount of money right now with 6,000, Skippy 3,000, but Scottagorn's been using his resources to start building these Emperor tanks, which are formidable, huge amounts of hit points, and then they heal themselves as well as the surrounding forces, and so that can be tough. Looks like Pcap has got Aurora bombers now. Going after supply drops. That'll get caught by the laser turrets on the way back. Here comes the second Aurora bomber going after supply drop. Oh, that first Aurora bomber went after Neo's strategy center. So one bomb from a super weapon super Aurora, and that strategy center went down. All right. What else do we got? Scottagorn starting to make a push with his battle masters and Gatling tanks. He's gotten the nationalism upgrade. And there's 6 troops inside that bunker, but the bunker's able to survive long enough to take out the incursion force. The EMP Patriots from Pcap immediately decimate the aircraft. Oh, and there's a Helix over there, which dropped off a Black Lotus for Rob, hugging the side of the map to be able to be unseen. But now, and Rob drops some artillery on the middle of the map, but we've got 4 Emperor tanks that are doing some major damage on this line of scrimmage over here. And it looks like, yep, Black Lotus is in there trying to do something. We are down to 2 Emperor tanks, 1 Emperor tank, and Rob is stealing... nope. Rob got taken out before he was able to steal the command center. Here come more stealth fighters, but they were taken out by the laser turrets. And Pancake has got a slew of supply trucks now that are pulling resources from the center. Rob's got a few of them as well. Skippy going after that artillery platform with his A-10s. Looks like another land force of Scottagorn making their way forward. Rob's out of power from building a nuke. Joe, or Neo, is continuing to try and build laser turrets, extending his line. Pcap coming forward with some Inferno cannons. Joe and some Air Force stuff looks like they've made good work against Pcap's defenses over here. The only thing now between the rest of his base and down on the bottom part at least is his fire base and one EMP Patriot. And Skippy brought in a whole bunch of Comanches, trying to go after the troops that are there. We've got a whole bunch of infantry and Gatling tanks that took those down, and it looks like Skippy also lost his Chinook in the area. Joe's got plenty of drones that are sitting over Pcap's base. Here comes 2 more Auroras. Let's see where he sends them. Skippy continuing to lose Chinooks. Laser turrets doing nothing against the Auroras, going after an oil derrick and then losing both of his Auroras. I think one Aurora would have been enough for that oil derrick, but I'm not completely sure. Now Pcap's supply Chinooks are reaching towards the middle supply dock, and as soon as they reach that far, they're within range of the Gatling cannons on the north side, and so they're getting picked off. Pcap going after the line of laser turrets of Joe's, as well as Joe sending his A-10, single A-10 for going after defenses in the supply dock. More artillery finishing off the supply dock, or supply center. Whole bunch of hackers over here, bringing in resources for Rob. Same for Scottagorn. Pcap's 3 supply drops. Skippy, I don't see any supply drops, it's just his Chinooks, and Skippy's got $1,400, so he needs something for some more resources in the area. This is a pretty big force that Scottagorn's got preparing over here. He looks like 6 Emperor tanks, troop crawler, and various battle masters and Gatling tanks. 7th Emperor, that is going to be tough, and he's starting to push now. Immediately takes out 2 troop crawlers, left with infantry in the area. Right now, that's a full bunker for going against them. There's some troops over here as well. Here comes a dozer, which is going to be just crushed by incoming Emperor tanks. The tanks are going to do their best to avoid that bunker and are just rolling down the side of the road, take out the Gatling cannon. Here comes the missile defenders, tank hunters. There goes 1 tank. 2 Emperor tanks. And doesn't quite get the 4th Emperor tank. So we still have, oh, and he used his healing ability. So he still has 4 Emperor tanks going into Rob's base here. Rob sent a Black Lotus into Pcap's base and was able to steal the command center. There's another Helix drop, brought in an airplane and took out a Comanche that was guarding the base. Another troop crawler. And these 4 Emperors have healed each other, and they're essentially at full strength now, and there is nothing preventing them from rolling through Rob's base now. There goes a whole bunch of hackers. And then he's trying to use the hackers to disable. He's disabled 1 Emperor tank. And the Gatling cannons are just finishing off the hackers before they're able to disable the rest of the tanks. So was able to take out 2, or take out 1, before it was probably 20 hackers that got destroyed there. Rob's got a couple of Inferno cannons that are doing damage, but it looks like it's healing at about the same rate that it's getting damaged, and so not effectively doing anything. Rob could use some help right now. Here comes a couple of airplanes, but again, the Gatling cannons on those Emperor tanks should be able to take out the planes pretty quick. And now they're at heroic status. They were already at veteran status. looking pretty rough. Pcap, Neo, and Rob have made a little bit of a force down here. Rob's using his infantries to steal oil derricks. Neo's laser tanks are making a push into Pcap's base, and then Pancake's Inferno cannons are providing long-range support with the Inferno cannons. So a lot of attention is being focused back here. There goes Lowe's Inferno cannon to a Tomahawk missile. Pcap is getting hollowed out pretty well, but those 4 Emperor tanks are also hollowing out Rob's base pretty well. We've brought a few more Inferno cannons to help out. Now instead of 4, he's still got 2. And here comes Pancake with an assist with a whole bunch of Inferno cannons. Looks like Rob's attention is split between that base, the south side of the base, and these Emperor tanks that are rolling through. And Rob's also got a nuke missile here. It's available to go at some point. And this should be it for the Emperor tanks, but those 4 tanks came through, destroyed 2 oil derricks and probably 80% of the buildings that Rob had in his base before they were able to get stopped by the Inferno cannons. And it looks like Scottagorn has got a whole nother fleet of 4 tanks, getting reduced to 3 and 2. And it looks like those 2 tanks are going to roll into the base, and there's a whole bunch of hackers over here that could disable these 2 tanks, but instead Rob is sending the nuke and going after those 2 tanks, and at the same time destroying the 4 hackers. So I'd call that a pretty big mistake. Unnecessary overkill. Yes, it took out the 2 Emperors, but if you use the hackers in order to disable the 2 tanks, you could use the Inferno cannons to just pick them off and while they're disabled. So that's too bad. Waste of a good nuke and waste of 4 hackers. And the forces now from Neo inside Pcap's base, dealing with all of the Rangers that are getting generated by the loss of the buildings, but as well as Scottagorn bringing in various vehicles to help out. But Pcap is getting hollowed out pretty well by this fleet, or this force that's inside of his base. He's got Neo's also bringing in C-130 for going after the barracks and other lighter structures. There goes the barracks. There goes the power plant. Pcap's trying to build a new barracks. Right now,
low power.
Pcap's got 8,000. Should be able to resupply stuff, but Joe and mostly Joe has just got a whole ton of units inside his building right now. Looks like he is dealing with. Oh, and that's an excellent hit from Skippy with his A-10, taking out a whole bunch of infantry that had been sitting there for a while. Scottagorn is going to lose that Gatling tank.
Unit lost.
Got my missile launcher right here.
Joe with his infantry going after the Comanche. But Scottagorn continuing to bring in multiple vehicles. There's a whole line of vehicles for supporting, so it should be able to clean out the rest of the base. But Rob with a carpet bomb, ooh, that's going to hit Neo's forces that are over there. As well as... What is this? That looks like, yeah, Rob minigunners. And Joe dropping a fuel bomb, taking out the airport. And so Pcap is pretty much, he's got a dozer, he's trying to build a command center, but he's got a supply drop and a particle cannon. Rob starting to also steal supply drops in the area. Rob's got some Inferno cannons going after the reinforcement pad that was there. Scottagorn is pretty much the main person right now for the South team right now. He's got plenty of resources, is generating at a good pace, and he's generating units like crazy. Here comes some more artillery. Should be dropping inside Skippy's base over here. Although I would have preferred that it went over onto the hackers that are over there and take out some of Scottagorn's economy. Pcap with let's see, Pcap's got a Chinook, he's building his command center, and he's got the dozer, and looks like those infantry were able to get finished off fairly well. And looks like Scottagorn drops a EMP onto the Inferno cannons over there, which should allow him to use his Battle Masters to take out the Infernos over there, and continuing to pump out Emperor tanks. That line of defenses of Joe's is still holding. Pancake with some Inferno cannons. Pancake's trying to send a cargo plane, and he's going to lose it before he's able to drop probably some troops in the back of Scottagorn's base. And looks like the EMP wasn't able to, or they didn't finish off the Inferno cannons back there before the EMP wore off. Here comes a carpet bomb. That'll take out, well, not quite take out an Emperor tank. Actually, I don't know quite what that did. Rob's got 9,000, slowly starting to build resources back. Scottagorn is the undeniable resource master with 20,000 right now, and Neo is spending money rapidly as well. He's got 4 supply drops, or 6 supply drops, and building more, and also capable of pulling at these supply docks right now. Looks like a Black Lotus that may have disabled that Emperor tank while the Inferno cannon is doing some damage, but again, one Inferno cannon can't make up for the healing capability and healing rate that those propaganda towers on top of the who's gonna get nuked. There it goes. Going after Pcap's new base. So we've got almost took out the war factory, took out some dozers. I think a barracks. Pancake has got numerous Inferno cannons. There goes the propaganda center, so now Scottagorn can't build those Emperor tanks anymore. May go after the hackers, but here we've got the Battle Masters that are taking out multiple Inferno cannons, as well as some Rangers. So, and it looks like there's also some mines. Neo finishing off supply center, but not quite able to do it before Scottagorn's GAT finishes it off. Scottagorn's got 1 Emperor tank left, and here comes some artillery going after a power plant and taking out some hackers with it. And now we've got Joe with his Rangers that are trying to capture multiple buildings at the same time, but these 2 Humvees should be able to take out most of those guys before... Nope, there goes 1 command center, and they smashed the Rangers before they're able to finish Pcap's command center. But they do take this war factory. More Infernos, multiple infantry coming in. Looks like the Black Lotus is disabling tanks as fast as she can. It only takes about a second of letting herself be seen before she can disable a vehicle. A little bit, well, a lot shorter than what is required for when she's capturing a building, which is quick in and of itself as well. Random Chinook over here. So a lot of action going on over here between the infantry and the vehicles. Black Lotus is disabling these Emperor tanks. Rob's getting a little bit faster with his capability of disabling vehicles with the Black Lotus and hackers, so that his infantry can take them out. Here comes a unfilled helix for going after these vehicles, but all those Gatling tanks are going to just to wipe out the helix. And it looks like they're going to also finish off all the infantry in the area. Scottagorn's going to try and rebuild his propaganda center and get those Emperor tanks back. He's got a pretty good counter push here with Battle Masters and Gatling tanks. Lotus is by itself, probably waiting for those tanks to leave before she can try and steal some oil derricks. And looks like there was an artillery attempt, but those tanks had moved a long time ago. There's more. Oh. Looks like that was some aircraft. Ooh, and the Black Lotus almost dies, but she's able to capture the building and then re-stealths. Pancake continuing to collect resources. Rob's pumping out infantry. Black Lotus is stealing the second oil derrick. Here comes Neo with his laser tanks and Pancake with inferno cannons for taking out it's a pretty good short-range and long-range force, taking out some of Scottagorn's resource supply trucks. This force of tanks is really the last, second to the last force. He's continuing to build more in front of his war factories. Black Lotus is making her way into Scottagorn's base. Got to try and thread the needle here between this Gatling cannon and other stealth detection units. Don't know if she's going to be able to make it. While these units are busy occupied with the laser tanks and the infantry, or the inferno cannons. Here comes the Black Lotus. Going to try and steal the command center. That'll be enough. Neo and Inferno cannons, or Pancake with his Inferno cannons, continuing to cause havoc on the area. And Black Lotus stealing the propaganda center. So, hoping that Scottagorn used that opportunity to build some more Emperor tanks. That looks like a good amount of Gatling tanks are coming out right now. There goes a war factory. Skippy over here has got a Chinook down, and he looks like he's bringing in some Rangers into that Chinook. There goes another war factory to the Black Lotus. Skippy coming in with a large tank force, trying to take out the C-130. Black Lotus taking out a power plant. Skippy coming over here with that. That was a nuke, as well as artillery. And Pancake with a carpet bomb, going after Internet Center. Skippy still over here. Looks like he's paying attention, trying to get this Chinook past Neo's defense line, which there is no defense line over here after that particle cannon a while back. Very few. So Scottagorn has looks like Scottagorn surrendered, and now it's just Skippy left. Skippy has released those Rangers, and looks like they're headed towards trying to steal some buildings. Rob's using his infantry to try and destroy the Internet Center, and Skippy's finally run out of power, so now the Gatling cannons aren't able to provide extra defenses. There's Skippy. He's been able to steal the supply center. He's stealing a command center. But looks like Joe's seen what's going on, and he's got various Rangers in the area to start going after Skippy's Rangers. And Pancake's bringing in a flame tank. So, fun little incursion for last last-ditch effort by Skippy, but oh, and we also had some air support that migged the Chinook that's over there. Let's see. So Joe's stolen this supply center. Really, not too much left. There's just this area of buildings that have to be completed before the game is over. Skippy's still got a few Rangers that are trying to go, but Neo's got a Comanche there, finished him off, and that's it. Skippy is surrendered.
You have been defeated.
So, I'm going to name this game Range Over Resources, because the South team had a pretty awesome initial push for getting defenses set up in a big ring around the giant supply docks, denying initial use from the North team for their capability of using those supply docks. But really, once the continued use of our Inferno cannons from Pancake, as well as the artillery platforms that got captured, all the resources that went into setting up that perimeter and trying to deny that to the North team eventually got destroyed by the longer range artillery platforms and units that got used, and as well as the laser turrets that were taking out Pcap's defenses. And really, like, they had the resources at the beginning, but the extra range that the North team was able to employ to good effect seemed to really come back to bite them. Scottagorn, with his Emperor tank push, was awesome at destroying Rob's base and hampering him for a long time. But the counter push that happened at roughly the same time with Neo, Pancake, and Rob's infantry past Pcap's defenses and pretty much hollowed him out. I think that was really the turning point for the game. Let's take a look at these stats. So Scottagorn, most amount of units created with 201. Rob lost the most amount of units, although it was pretty close. 205 versus Pcap's 200 versus Scottagorn's 194. And then Scottagorn destroyed the most with 215. Neo built the most amount of buildings, all those defensive buildings, 68. But Pcap lost the most amount with 25 buildings. A lot of those being defensive ones at the start of the game, as well as a lot of base that got destroyed throughout, and rebuilding a second base before that got destroyed as well. That actually goes to Pancake with 19 buildings destroyed. Great job, Pancake. Those Inferno cannons were used to great effect for final clearing of all the rest of the south bases. And then Scottagorn, huge amount of hackers, most amount of resources collected with 200,000, followed closely by Neo with 180, mostly supply drops, and then Rob, Pcap, Skippy, and Pancake. So, great game, fun times. Not the way that expected the game to go from the beginning portion of it, but cool to see some interesting strategy, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.